Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Silver Sun here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my review on Mob Psycho 100 Season 2, Episode 6. Alright, so this episode pretty much starts off with Mob just hanging out with his friends and whatnot. He's getting a lot better with the Body Improvement Club. He's out there doing like 35 push ups and stuff like that. Everybody's cheering for him and whatnot. But basically, it's these guys' birthday, so they pretty much go out to this little restaurant and they're all just hanging out, having a good time. And Mob especially is having a good time because he hasn't done something like that in like the longest time. But of course, in the middle of all that, Reagan calls him up, telling him to, hurry up and get down to where he's at because there's this psychic business going on that he's got to help him out with. And Mob's just like, oh, well, I'm kind of in the middle of something. Can it wait a little longer? And he's like, no, man, you got to hurry up. It's really important and stuff. So Mob pretty much has to cut the whole enjoyment side out for a second or two, and then he goes out with Reagan, exercises the spirit. But pretty much after that, him and Reagan get into a little tiff. He's basically Mob pretty much tells him like, I got like a social life now and friends and all that stuff. You keep summoning me out of the blue like this, like on such short notice. It's not cool. Can you like, you know, cut me some slack or whatever? Basically, is what he's telling him. And then Reagan goes on to tell him that the friends he has aren't really his friends and that they're just using him and that, he's not really capable of even, having friends to begin with and stuff like that. They so easily manipulated and whatnot. And Mob was like, no, you're wrong. And he really was wrong because later on in the episode, Reagan's pretty much the one that doesn't have any friends and isn't able to, get his stuff together because Mob at that point pretty much I don't think he quit. He just like took a break from Reagan and his psychic business, and he hasn't been showing up to work in like a few days or so. So it's pretty much just leaving Reagan in a tough situation of him just like trying to hold his business together, and all the while he's pretty much going on what they call a friend book, basically obviously a rip off of Facebook. He was on there, and he was looking at the uh, at the date, and it was his birthday. I think it was October 10th, it looked like. So yeah, it was his birthday that day, and nobody messaged him on Friendbook or anything like that. He didn't have anybody looking out for him except for his mom, his own mom. But even then, she pretty much texted him like, "Oh, you need to get your stuff together. You're doing this shady business for quite a while now. Why don't you get yourself a real job and maybe get a family of your own or something like that." It's pretty much on like, hey, get your stuff together. And so basically, that was pretty much like a wake up call for him. And so later on, he sees Mob, actually hanging out with friends, actually, living his life, and just like being, you know, kind of popular and just like, being a kid for once and like just hanging out and doing the cool stuff that kids do and whatnot. And I was so happy to see that because, like, yes, like, finally Mob's like out there, like, in the world, just like hanging out and doing him, doing all the cool stuff. This is what I've been wanting to see since like the first season and whatnot. Now it's actually happening, which I think is like the coolest thing. He's over here playing video games with Ritsu and stuff like that at home. It's really cool. But on the flip side, Reagan's pretty much just going around, just being a bum basically. He's what they call it, Happy Trails. He's at that bar place he went to in the OVA special. He's there again, and pretty much he's just there talking to all the people in the bar who are pretty much just like going to him for advice and like just seeking some sort of stress relief from him basically. He kind of sees them as his friends, but I mean they're not really his friends. They're just kind of using him like he would use Mob, pretty much using him to kind of make their lives that much more better. And so basically, by the end of it, he pretty much like realizes what's going on and that his life's just pretty much going in a downward spiral. So pretty much from there, he starts to he starts to turn his life around by helping other people and just getting his business afloat and getting it higher up there and pretty much taking on all these different jobs and whatnot, trying to get more popular, and gaining more of a following and stuff like that with his fan base and whatnot. And so basically, by the end of it, he's able to. He actually gets an interview for a magazine at first, and then he gets he gets to be on TV basically in like this interview with psychics and stuff like that, and he's a part of it. But who's also a part of it is that other guy. I forgot his name, but the one psychic guy that was like actually pretty powerful, but he didn't end up showing his powers off because um it was episode 4, I believe, with Mogami and whatnot when he first got introduced and stuff like that, and all the psychics were there and they was trying to exercise him out of the girl, but Reagan pretty much need that one guy. Yeah, that's him. That's the same guy there, and he's pretty much like out for revenge, and then that's where the episode ends. And honestly, it's obviously not as action packed as last episode, not by a long shot. It's a real slice of life, just pretty chill episode actually. But I feel like these are probably one of the best episodes of Mob Psycho 100, and I feel like that's where this series really shines. Is these pretty much character moments and whatnot. It really went into Mob and Reagan's friendship this time around, and texting them and seeing how they would be without one another, and it went pretty well for Mob, but not well for Reagan, and it was pretty messed up actually, cause actually I don't think I mentioned it, but like, well, I mentioned that it was his birthday, Reagan's birthday, but like nobody really cared about it too. He was in the bar and he pretty much just said like, "Oh, it's my birthday today," and they were just like, "Oh yeah, thanks, happy birthday," and stuff like that. But he didn't get like the whole like celebration or a response as the other two that had their birthday party earlier on in the episode. Uh, but yeah, pretty much that's how it went down for him. But for Mob, he was enjoying himself. He was out there, playing karaoke with uh, his friends and stuff like that. Their names escape me. The only friends I really remember that he has is I think her name was Mozami, something like that. The newspaper girl or whatever. Subami to a certain extent, though he never ever really talks to her and stuff like that. He just stares at her. And Emmy, who we still haven't seen yet, and not only her but Teru. Yeah, like I hope we see them soon. We haven't really. I mean, we haven't seen Emmy since the first episode, and we haven't seen Teru at all except for like one brief flashback. I think it might have been last episode too, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a quick flashback he had, and that was pretty much it. But in broad, daylight in modern times, we didn't quite see him yet. So I hope we see him soon, along with all the other psychic kids that they was pretty much mentoring at the end of season 1. Oh, and before I forget, I actually like how this episode kind of started out with Reagan, like a little bit of Reagan's backstory on how he got like his office space and whatnot. How he pretty much like started his own business with the spirits and such counseling little business he's got going. I like that. I liked how they showed that. I liked how they showed him with a green tie instead of a purple tie. That was kind of a nice little funny touch. But I also like how they showed him without his tux, cause like I swear we haven't seen him like without that outfit like 99, at least 99% of the series, and now we finally get to see him in something else in a different outfit. Cause I don't think we've seen him without it. But it's nice. It's a nice change of pace here, and also I like how they showed his apartment. That's something I've been wanting to see since the ending of season 1, when it basically showed his apartment in the ED, with the paint on glass animation. Really awesome ending, by the way. But yeah, I wanted to see that ever since then, and now we finally get to see it and whatnot. And it's okay, it's like a small it works, I guess. But it's a pretty small, like cramped kind of apartment. I mean, it's for one person, so I mean, it's not that big an issue. And to be honest, I kind of feel like his office is a bit more spacious than his own apartment. Like, I mean, if anything, they're probably the same size, but like, it's really just like a one. Not even. It's like it's so small. It's like just like a one hallway basically. Like, there's not much space at all in that thing. But yeah, that's pretty much how he lives and whatnot. Mob's got the whole house to himself, basically. He's got his room and everybody else's room. Mob's living comfortably. Reagan's living awfully. But hopefully that'll change next episode. He says he's gonna embarrass him, that one guy, the psychic guy, at the end of the episode, obviously. So I wonder, since he's on TV, this is my prediction, especially since I saw the preview for the next episode. I'm pretty sure Mob's gonna see it and he's gonna realize that Reagan's a fraud, and then he's really gonna lay into him next episode. He's probably gonna be like, "Oh, this whole time You know, I thought you were the one. I thought you were the real deal. But in actuality, you aren't. You know, I want to see how that turns out, especially with this episode. You know, building up to that. You know, they're already separated now. What's gonna happen next? Are they just gonna like completely split? Are they just gonna abandon each other for good? Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much it for this review. I really did enjoy this episode. Tell me what you guys thought of the episode down in the comment section below. And until the next one, Silver Sun is out, you guys.